Guys, it's Sarah, and recently I posted a Trash My TBR video where I asked you guys to go through all of my 700 plus books on Goodreads that I physically own and asked you to give me some suggestions on books that you think I'm not going to like based on what you know of my reading taste if you've been here for a while. I also told you a little bit about some certain tropes and things in books that I don't enjoy on a normal basis. And through that, I have picked some books from your suggestions that I want to do try a chapter for. And based on that first chapter, I'm going to decide if I'm going to keep these books or if I'm going to unhaul them. So I will show you the books that I pulled. I did pull 4 of them. 2 of them had multiple mentions, so I grabbed those. And then 2 of them were only mentioned one time, but I thought they were interesting mentioned, so I grabbed those 2. This first one was mentioned a couple of times, and that is The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. And I'm going to give you guys this one. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about Philippa Gregory. Now, I haven't read anything by her. I have these 2 books. I have 2 books actually that are Boleyn books. So I grabbed the other one too, the Boleyn Inheritance, because if I don't like this, I might just get rid of this one too, to be honest with you. And so I pulled it just kind of maybe. I just don't know if I'm going to want to sink my teeth into something this big as far as historical stuff goes. And I just don't know if I'm going to like her writing. I've heard very, very mixed things about it. And I don't know. I don't know. So I think the first chapter will be a tell for me. If I read the first chapter, I'm just kind of like, then I'll go ahead and unhaul it. But if I read the first chapter and I'm like, oh, I could get into this, then I'll keep it. So we'll see. This next one also had multiple mentions, and that is Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Noel. I have not heard good things about this book over the years even. And I have heard it doesn't have good representation as far as mental health goes. I have heard it's just not very good. I have heard it's really confusing and underwhelming. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm already kind of leaning towards like maybe just unhauling this anyway, but we'll see how the first chapter goes. I don't know. This next one only got 1 mention, but I thought it was interesting, and that is Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam. I've heard very mixed things about this one. I've heard more negative than positive, but I was like, well, I got it from Book of the Month, and it's super short, so like, why not? Just give it a try. And I had this on a TBR at one point, and then I never did get to it. So I guess we'll see how the first chapter goes. But this is another one that I was like, I could probably take it or leave it. And then this last one, I went ahead and grabbed because this one hurt a little bit. Bobby hurt my feelings because she left me a comment and talked about this book specifically, about that it has a trope in here that I do not like, and that's miscommunication. I don't like miscommunication. I can understand it if it's understandable, but if it's just blatant, I'm just not going to talk to you because I don't feel like dealing with my feelings when this whole, like all this drama could be solved with a conversation. That drives me nuts. So she told me that this one has a ton of miscommunication in it. And I was like, no, because it's Diane Chamberlain. And this is The Stolen Marriage. Now, Diane Chamberlain has I'm pretty positive she could become a favorite author of mine because I read 2 of her books. In fact, my favorite book of last year was The Dream Daughter. That was my favorite book of 2020. And I have a bunch of her books and I want to read them. So I think this one will be a little bit interesting because I don't want to get rid of it. But if it has miscommunication in it, am I going to like it? Or is this going to be a situation where it's miscommunication, but she does it well, and I do end up enjoying it? I don't know, because I do love her as an author. So I'm a little bit nervous about this one, but I thought I would include it in here because this is the one that kind of piqued me a little bit, like the most out of all these. I just went, oh, but that hurts. So Bobby hurt my feelings. We'll see what happens with the first chapter. But if the first chapter is written really well, I'm going to keep it, basically. And I have a feeling it's going to be. So we're going to give it a try. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of time over the next couple of days to read the first chapter of all of these books, and I will take you along that journey with me. Okay, we are gonna go ahead and get started. My house is quiet. I have the entire house to myself, which is super rare nowadays. So perfect excuse to go ahead and read the first chapter of all these books, right? All right, I'm gonna start with Philippa Gregory. Now, this one, flipping through, this will be interesting. The first chapter, or the first section, is spring of, if I can get to the right page here. It's like awkward, I can't turn the page. Like, there we go, friction, there we go. So spring 1521, and it is 3 pages long. The next section is spring 1522, and it's 69 pages, guys. I ain't doing that, obviously. That's not happening. So I'm hoping 3 pages will give me a feel for her writing, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, but like 69 pages, I ain't doing that. So it's laid out very interestingly. I don't love that the first section of it is 69 pages long with no chapter breaks. I think there's little breaks here and there, like, you know, middle of the page breaks or something, but like that's, I like short chapters in my books. That's just something that I really like, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to read these first 3 pages. I'm hoping that's going to give me enough to go on, and we'll see. So I did read the first 3 pages, and to me that was enough. I liked it. I like the way this is written. I like the language. I was easily able to picture everything. The opening scene was like, whew. I liked it. So I'm going to hang on to this. I kind of was under an assumption that if I didn't like it, I would definitely get rid of this, but I did like it. So I'm going to hang on to this one and the other one that I have as well. Maybe Philippa Gregory is something I get into. I definitely would, I need to read this at a time when I can be okay with reading, like, you know, taking my time, because this is a big book. This is huge. And like I said, the sections are longer. So I would need to, as long as I know going into it that that's going to be how it is, I'll be good. So I liked it. All right, so that one's done. So let's do the next one on my stack. I just have them sitting here, is Leave the World Behind. And I think these are not super long either. Yeah, these are short chapters. So I can read the first chapter of this real quick and see what my thoughts are. I got 2 pages in and I cannot read this, you guys. I rolled my eyes 4 times in the first 2 pages. There was a description, a paragraph description of the inside of this family's car, and it was gross. There was the mother of this family question in her head if it was sexist that her husband drove all the time and took care of the car. Is that sexist? And then there was something about her business, like someone that she worked with closely who is of Korean descent. What is it? Her parents are Korean. She'd been born in South Carolina, and Amanda continued to feel that the woman's mealy-mouthed accent was incongruous. This was so racist she could never admit it to anyone. Okay, no, just no. No. I made 2 pages in, I rolled my eyes 4 times. I'm not reading this, so this is gonna get on hold. Are you? No. Just no. Okay. Next, let's do this one, The Luckiest Girl Alive. This one I think has a longer first chapter from what I'm remembering. Let me see if I can figure out exactly how many pages the first chapter is. But I do think these are longer, so 22 pages. Okay, so that's a little bit longer, but let's see if this one fares out any better. Okay. This was kind of terrible. I did not enjoy this at all. I hate this main character. She's okay, let me think of the words. She's a huge snob. She's very hung up on appearances, and she doesn't like that no one calls her skinny. They call her petite or small. She wants to be called skinny. She judges other people hugely and is just completely rude to other people. I don't think I could spend an entire book with her. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be a no-go for me. Like, I don't want this much of her. I don't like it. So okay. Last one. The one that I'm probably gonna keep regardless of what's in here, because I love Diane Chamberlain as an author and I want to read all her books. So, but this does have miscommunication in it apparently, which is something I don't enjoy. So let me see what the first chapter says and see how it is. I'm probably not going to get to miscommunication in the first chapter, to be honest with you, but we can at least see. So the first part is 6 pages. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so right off the bat, the prologue takes place in Hickory, North Carolina. And I don't know if any of you guys know who John Reap is. He's a comedian, but he's from Hickory, North Carolina, and he does a whole spiel about it. You know, that the word hick is in the name. Like, you know, you're going into like a hillbilly area if the word hick is in the name, and he goes into this whole thing about it. So now I'm saying it like him, like Hickory. Okay, just fun little tidbit. John Reap, he's very funny if you haven't seen him. Okay, so as predicted, I am going to hold on to this one. I did like the first prologue part of this, and so I am going to hang on to it, and just going into it knowing that there is miscommunication in here. So it's going to be a thing, but I do want to read Diane Chamberlain, and I don't want to get rid of this one. So yeah. Okay. So hanging on to this one, and then those two, which I literally threw because I don't want to read them, are going to go into my unhaul box that I have going downstairs. I just keep a box handy, and then anytime I want to unhaul something, I throw it in there. So it's going to go in that box, because those two, no thank you. I don't want those anymore. So awesome. Thank you guys for all of your feedback for books that you think I would not enjoy. It's kind of interesting. I'm keeping 2 of them and getting rid of 2, but that's good. That's 2 books off my TBR now that I don't need to worry about. And that was fun. All right. So hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys again very soon. Hope you have a great day.